Yeah, yeah. This really happened, huh? This really has happened. A very long wait. 2 chapters more before our next break. And not a single hint of a counterattack. If I didn't have these glasses on, my eyes would be twitching. So, well, hi for those who are watching. It's the Angry Anime Fan, the spare reviewer, bringing you Chapter 846 of One Piece. I was greatly hoping for some kind of counterattack, but no, an exhausted Luffy. Lost, of course, we saw some of Big Mom's family's powers, and now they were captured. King Bone was slain for his betrayal, and the gang have taken Lola's Vivre card. I mean, the Big Mom pirates have taken Lola's ability. And we're finally switching back to Pedro and Brook, who, by the way, are hiding in a wine cellar where in the Poneglyph library, which by the way contains many of them, also is a sweet commander! So yeah, there is not a single bit of hope left. Now I will seriously ask the creator, Uda, just how will he resolve this arc already? You're almost throwing us in the faces that no, Luffy can't defeat the Four Emperor, nor a Four Emperor crew. Which, by the way, it's not right. He is supposed to fight Kaido if he cannot prove himself to at least survive this. Then I know that the war against Kaido really will be 0.0 chance. But we'll see what happens. In this chapter, as I said, the gang have lost. We see a little bit of the 16th daughter, of course, the Minister of Butter. Her power is apparently unseen to me. It looks like telekinesis, but it must be some kind of grabbing material. Amadana, the demon lady who is revealed to possess a Mito called Shirao, cuts up King Baum, revealing that she has indeed a very sadistic side. We see Montour's powers. Apparently he has a devil fruit that allows him to control books of some sort. And we see in confirmation that Charlotte Opera's power is indeed some kind of whipped cream-like devil fruit, although it's not confirmed if it's a Logia or a Paramecia. But the way he describes it is like the power of sweetness of my fresh cream. If I add a little sweetness to my sweet fresh cream, it's simply a matter of time before your entire body is charred to crisp. What does that mean? Either way, Montour traps Luffy in a world of books, where he's distracted until two other members, which I presume is also a member of the Big Mom Pirates, given to the fact that they look just like Opera, revealing heavy haki KOs Luffy. King Bone dies. They take the Vivre card. So yeah, the Straw Hat Pirates have lost. So I mean, I'm seriously asking, just how will they resolve this? And the fact that they were so arrogant against Luffy and such is really pissing me off. Was this a bad chapter? No, it wasn't. It was an excellent chapter. I just don't like the despair. Either way, they take the Vivre card and get surprised when it says it's Lola, given to the fact that they all react pretty, huh? It seems to presume that, yeah, maybe Lola didn't just run away home. Maybe they really do love her. Is this really gonna be what all the theorists have been theorizing about? Once Big Mom hears this, she will change her mind. And then we're switching to the other part, which I also do not like. Sanji has now begged Big Mom to spare his crew member's life. In exchange, he will not do a single thing else, and he will marry Pudding. So yeah, Sanji really has given up. You should all realize that by now. Sanji has given up. And of course, Big Mom shows both her joyful side and her sadistic side by saying, like, I will make them personal. Normally, I will make pay them very dearly. Destroying the seducing words, taking down one of my sweet cadaver, and eating all my candy from Fishman Island. But this wedding is very important to me, so I will do it. And then we're switched to Tamago, who is smart enough to guard the vault where the poneglyphs exist. And apparently the Big Mom pirates have 3 poneglyphs. 1 red and 2 other. They all had already 1, but then Jinbei delivered 1 other, as we all saw in the cover page. And we are introduced to another one of Big Mom's uh, sweet commanders. But before that, there's some very important information. I do not know how the hell people who cannot even read the poneglyph knows this. But I guess Big Mom's connection must really be that insane too. According to Tamago, there are 30 poneglyphs at all. I mean, there are only 30 poneglyphs. Which I ask, is that even possible? It almost feels like there are more. But according to Tamago, there are only 9 which tells the true story, while there are only 4 that would lead to Raftel. So yeah, and they seem to very likely have one of those that tell the truth. So Robin really needs to see this. And now we are formally introduced to another of the Charlotte's Sweet Commanders, and it seems like some person got their wish. They were actually wondering, they were really hoping that one of the Big Mom's Sweet Commanders would be female, but they were all called Lord, which actually makes me confusing. If it's now a female, then why do they call her Lord and not Lady? Well, either way, it's the Minister of Juice. Her name is Charlotte Smoothie. And well, that's some mighty muscular legs. And for some reason a pretty face. So I'm actually a bit surprised by that, but it seems to be a very pretty lady. She is the 14th daughter, by the way. Oh, and by the way, she has a bounty. The highest bounty of a female pirate yet. And that is saying something, because the only highest bounty we saw recently, that was, Yuri Bonnery, and how many years was that ago? We all can presume that Big Mom has over a billion, but so far Smoothie has the highest female one. Oh, and we see a glimpse of her powers, and it's very confirmed that she is indeed a sadistic freak, by the way. Apparently, she also has a devil fruit, which is very aching to her name. She is or more likely aching to her title, Minister of Juice. It seems to be a devil fruit where she can squeeze out liquid from a person and then she drinks it, or is it more like she can squeeze out life energy that becomes juice, or is it because she can squeeze out something else? Because I highly doubt that's blood, because she turns a person into a shivering husk just by draining them of this juice. Phew, it's so creepy. And even to the fact that the tea party is not happening until tomorrow, then Smoothie is free, so she decides to help them. And it's Tamago that reveals that Peckums attacked them 5 years ago, and it also seems to have been confirmation on why the government put him on a bounty on his head, because his title was the Poneglyph Thief, and a former pirate captain of the Mink tribe. So what's that? Does that mean there were Mink pirates? Wonder, was it only Peckhams or was it more? But this confirms why the government actually put a bounty on his head. If he was called the Poneglyph Thief, then obviously the government would put a bounty on his head, seeing that hunting the poneglyphs is a crime. But Tamago is very confident that they can protect the road poneglyph and make Big Mom the Pirate King. Which, by the way, I'm once again asking. They're almost talking as if they have a way to read them. But that's impossible. Or is it? Has Big Mom connection really allowed them to get someone to read? Because if you think about it, Big Mom hasn't made a single reference to Nico Robin. So does that mean they actually have the means to read a poneglyph? But Mama herself said No, she couldn't read it, so I wonder. Either way, uh, Peckham's and them were hiding in the room of offering, the alcohol store's house, and by using his astral ability, they were able to. Now, Brook were able to see through the wall and go to speed. As they all despaired of the fact that this is their one and only chance to do this, because even if they go back with the other crew, which by the way I also do not like to hear, now even Brook is giving up? What is it with the Straw Hats and giving up? They are the Straw Hat Pirates! They have the miracle main ability! They are supposed to win! Not lose. I don't care just how much of a wall exists behind them. They are the main characters. They're supposed to break through the wall. But it alas seems that's not gonna be the case. So instead we're seems to getting a hint that is this the end of Pedro? Very likely, as they all seeing that this is the only reason to steal the poneglyph, which I also do not wonder, how can they do that? Do they even have the fish sticks ability or something like that? Because Brook asks what is Baron Tamago's target, and Pedro says it's him. So Brook asks if he can be the bait, and Peckham's no, Pedro says I was just thinking the exact same thing. They both have an extreme loyalty to Luffy about wanting to make him the Pirate King. Alas, though, this seems to be Pedro's last stand. But we haven't yet seen Pedro completely in action, even though he did fight Jack's troops. Moreover, Inuarashi talked about a triumph card of the Mink. Are we now gonna see that triumph card? And what about the Carrot and the Chopper? Are we gonna switch back to them? This was not a chapter I actually wanted. I wanted a counterattack chapter, but no, it only got further and further and further into despair. Also, there's another thing worth figuring out. Baron Tamago's target is Pedro, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Pedro will hunt after Pedro. I mean, it could very well be that Smoothie is gonna just stay behind there. If you think about it, she's a sweet commander. So even though she's the extra security, she probably can protect the poneglyph all by herself. But it's also her devil fruit ability. It seems to be a devil fruit that allows her to squeeze out juice or from human bodies, mind you, or life energy that becomes fluid from people. But Brook is a skeleton, therefore he doesn't have any fluid within his body. After all, the dried squid attack didn't work on him, so are we to say that he is the perfect opponent for Smoothie? I mean, Brook didn't really strike me as the guy who had the strength to fight a sweet commander, but if he do, then by all means, defeat her. But, I mean, Brook is one among my favorite characters. So I would prefer if he could fight, but I don't think he has ever fought a woman, so it seems very unlikely. But yeah, Big Mom promises to spare the Straw Hats. The Straw Hats are now being taken to Big Mom. Are we now finally gonna see if Big Mom is gonna be an ally or an enemy? The way she threatened Sanji about what she would do about them seems to hint that no. But I see no longer any way out of this arc. I actually don't see it. I actually only see them abandoning Sanji and then fleeing. That's the only way out of this arc I see, which I hope is not gonna happen. I want a karma beatdown from the Windsmoke family. This arc cannot be allowed to end without that. And I dislike the arrogance of the Charlotte families. Can't they be defeated? The answer to that question is no. After all, there are 4 Emperor crew members. So, I mean, I know I'm ranting, but I cannot deny the chapter was excellent. But it was just because it was so much despair that I'm ranting. So give me your thoughts if you have any.